This is your host, Danny, and this is Common Mistakes from English Plus Podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about common mistakes people make when they use the word answer. So let's start right away and start with our very first mistake. They still can't find an answer for this problem. Well, what do you think? Do you think there is something wrong about that? About saying you can't find an answer for this problem? Well, the problem is for. We find answers to a problem or a question, not for. The answer to the second question is Abraham Lincoln, for example. So here, instead of saying they still can't find an answer for this problem, you should say they still can't find an answer to this problem. All right? But that's not everything. Let's take a look at some more examples where we have mistakes concerning the word answer. It has taken them almost 2 months to answer to my letter. Or I couldn't answer to the last 2 questions. Or my job involves cooking, cleaning, and answering to the doorbell. Well, what's the problem about that? Is it, again, some kind of preposition? But we used to here. We didn't use for. Yes, but here you shouldn't use anything. You answer somebody or something without to. For example, have you answered their letter yet? Have you answered their letter? You answered the letter, something, without to, without for, with nothing. But we used to with less common meanings of the word answer. For example, anyone who upsets you will have me to answer to. Well, you could tell that this is not very common, right? Or the dog answers to the name of Zach. Again, this is not a very common use of answer. But the examples I just gave you, we don't use to. So we don't say it has taken them almost 2 months to answer to my letter. We don't say that. No, we say it has taken them almost 2 months to answer my letter. Instead of saying I couldn't answer to the last 2 questions, I should only say I couldn't answer the last 2 questions. And my job involves cooking, cleaning, and answering to the doorbell. No, we just say my job involves cooking, cleaning, and answering the doorbell without to. And now let's talk about the last 2 examples. I rang the number you gave me, but nobody answered me. Or I called her name, but nobody answered me. What's wrong with that? Well, it's me. You don't have to say it. Do not use an object with answer unless this adds new meaning to the sentence. A meaning which is not obvious from the rest of the sentence. For example, he asked her for an explanation, but she didn't answer. Now here we don't need to use an object because it's obvious. But look at the other example. I'd like to speak to him, but he refuses to answer the phone. Alright, here I said the phone because if I don't say the phone, it's not obvious. Answer what? Answer me? I asked him a question he doesn't want to answer. No, here I want to say answer the phone. He's not answering the phone in the first place. So here I can mention this object. Now in the first sentence, the object him is understood and there is no need to mention it. But in the second sentence, adding the phone added meaning. So I can add an object. So back to the 2 sentences I mentioned earlier. Obviously, we don't need me. We don't need an object. I rang the number you gave me, but nobody answered. Period. Without me. Or I called her name, but nobody answered. Period. Not answered me. So, this is what I wanted to share with you today about answer and the common mistakes people make using answer. Another day, another common mistake. This is your host, Danny. Thank you very much for listening to another Common Mistakes episode from English Plus Podcast. I'll see you next time.